Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandragon's Cave. Today we are gonna be drawing Saturn from One Piece, and as you can see we are using a new sketchbook. If you have seen my previous video, I did a little recap about everything we've been doing this year, and coincidentally we finished year and we finished a sketchbook. So for this first drawing of this 2024 I'm gonna be doing Saturn, and if you are watching and reading the manga, you know that the topic of Saturn is very hot at the moment, and we don't know what's gonna happen in this next episodes. I wanted to pick Saturn to talk about him now, because I think I just have maybe this week or next week until we are back with the normal routine of episodes, because now we have a little break for Christmas. But I don't think I have more longer than that to theorize about Saturn in the concept of what I want to talk about today, because I think this arc may be arriving to a conclusion very soon, and we are, I think, in the peak of the saga. If this is a spoiler alert disclaimer, if you haven't watched the last episode or you are not up to date with the manga, don't continue watching the video, because I'm going to be talking about the latest thing from episode 1103. We see Kuma arriving. Everyone was expecting that Kuma will arrive to save Bonnie and Luffy, etc. And what we see is an enraged Kuma that is gonna punch Saturn, and this is reminiscing the mini flashback that we have in the previous episode about Kuma seeing the Shabondi scenario when Luffy punches Carlos, the Terrorito Carlos. So I think this is a parallelism with that scene in the story, and Kuma obviously is gonna hit Saturn, probably with a very big po-po punch, and it may be do an explosion. But I don't want to talk about what is gonna happen in the next episode or in the following episodes. What I want to talk it's a little bit theory about Saturn. I think we have seen that Saturn is kind of reference of the Ushi Oni from the Oriental mythology, and he is like this kind of spider cow monster. We don't know if this is coming from a fruit, this is coming from experiments, this is coming from darkness directly, or if he is a puppet, like a zombie in Thriller Bark from Imu, like the other Gorusei. We know that with all these influences from the gods that Oda is taking, we may see some things that they don't fit much in the storyline that we are used to with One Piece. If you have seen the Red movie, we see this kind of the god of music, Tot Musica monster, and this is a character that I think Oda is preparing in this movie for us to understand that we have this type of gods in One Piece, and Imu may be one, Blackbeard fruit may be one, and maybe the fruits come from in one part from this kind of let's say superior beings, no, in the One Piece world. So I'm not sure about, everyone at the beginning thought that Saturn was gonna have the fruit, and then with all this pentagram appearing like a ghost, like a shadow, people started to think about maybe this is gonna be coming from Imu itself, and we will see what's gonna be. But we don't know what's going to happen with that. So let's wait a couple of episodes, and I think soon is the moment that Oda is going to reveal all this info, because I think Saturn is the Blueno of this saga, and I think they are gonna take him out. And what I want to talk about today in this Saturn theory is the Egghead incident. The Egghead incident, so famous in the newspapers and everything, and so important. I think is basically Saturn being captured and even killed or destroyed. We know Luffy, and he doesn't kill, even if he may have had some casualties during his fights, but never on a screen. The Oda never shows these things, because this is a shonen, and the good guys are good guys. But if you have seen some of my videos, maybe you already know what I'm gonna be talking. I have this strong theory about Blackbeard showing up soon, because we have seen his ship arriving to Egghead, and because he has done nothing so far. We know that he is a tricky character, and he's the pirate reference, like Boogie. And he will show up in the special time when no one can stop him, and this is gonna be at the very end. We know Blackbeard's goal, or one of the requests that he deals with the government, is that he wants Hachinosu, his island, to be recognized as... This is the arm. I'm gonna make it a little bit short because we have the cape here going on top, this massive cape. It's actually like a code that Oda always does, but it's like this. Okay. So Hachinosu, in theory, he wants Hachinosu to become a kingdom, a recognized kingdom with the government, and I think this is because, as he did with the Shichibukai, in the Shichibukai he wanted that position to be able to access Impel Down, to be able to sail through this government triangle on the sea and go to Impel Down, to break everyone, the strongest one from there, and have more people in the crew. So what we have now with all of this is a moment of similar developments, in my opinion. We have seen him arriving there, and it will be better for him. Doesn't matter about Hachinosu anymore, but if I get Saturn, I get one of the Gorosei by chance, because he's the lucky one, like Luffy. By chance, I get this character. I'm good. I don't need this dealing anymore, because I think Blackbeard wants a trading card to be able to access Marijoa and that massive fridge that we have the frozen straw hat there. So, with all of this being said, I think what is gonna happen at the moment is Kuma is gonna hit Saturn very hard. I think Kuma may even auto-destruct in the following episode, or in a couple of episodes, to save Bonnie, and at the same time to save Luffy and to save everyone. It's a little bit difficult to confirm this, because we have seen Luffy eating, and that means that he is recovering, but I don't think even Luffy, in the state that he is at the moment, he can compete with Saturn. So what I see coming is a very strong explosion done by Kuma, destabilizing what is the concentration of Saturn. So Saturn can actually release these people, in this case Frankie, Sanji, Vegapunk, all of the guys that he kind of froze. I don't know if with Haki, with fear, with a specific power of his Akuma no Mi, his fruit, if he has a fruit. But the thing is that he kind of froze them, let's say like similar to what Haki does. Similar to what Haki does. And first of all, I just want to explain, I'm drawing this scene when he is eating his favorite food, confirmed by Oda, the sausages, and at the same time that Kizaru is eating as well the noodle soup and everything, and Doberman is behind him, and Doberman is actually looking at him, how he hates, it's not that he hates, it's like he considers the humans like insects, no? And that's telling me that maybe he may not be. That's why I'm talking about if he is a part of Imu, or a soul, or a dark soul from Imu, or a puppet made by Imu, or something like this. Even if, or even if being a human, his body may have been taken over by Imu, and this power applied. This is not a theory, this is just some ideas that I'm throwing there. So far we can see that yes, he has a fruit, and this is Ushi Oni fruit, and it is like a god fruit like Luffy's, and maybe all of the Gorusei has this type of fruit, and at the same time all of these fruits may be bound to a superior fruit, in this case Imu's, and yeah, so I just wanted to make that clear what I'm trying to sketch here, just in case you don't see the drawing yet. But basically, yeah, that's the sausage, those are the hands, and we have seen this in the manga recently, so it's a scene very human. That's why I wanted to do it, because it's a scene very human that Oda is kind of portraying here, and it is for a reason. I think the things that he despises, like humans in this case, and he doesn't care, like insects, are the ones that are gonna stop him now, and kind of in a poetic sense for him. Well, as I was saying, the developments, I think Kuma needs to fight him a little bit, needs to hit good a couple of times Saturn, and then we are gonna have this kind of explosion probably, and Saturn waking up, like he took some damage, but he's kind of standing up like nothing happened, and we need to see this moment when Saturn and Kizaru have a conversation, because I think Kizaru is the one feeding Luffy, not Caribou, and I think he's gonna be one second here to do this. This is going like this. I think Kizaru needs to step out and face Saturn after seeing that Kuma's attack, did some damage, but not enough for the Straw Hat and the rest to escape, or for everyone to escape. Oda is feeding Luffy, kind of, Luffy's gonna fight. He's kind of telling you Luffy's gonna fight, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Kuma, in the last minute, is gonna send flying Luffy and Bonnie to Elbaf, and then we're gonna have Vegapunk sent flying as well to where Dragon is. And yeah, I think the next moment, as soon as Saturn wakes up and he managed to release Frankie and the rest, Sanji has the bubble gun, and we have seen how he put Kaku in a bubble. I don't think that's a chance. That's a chance that Oda is gonna take. So probably we are gonna see Sanji using this opportunity, because he is the plan person. He is the one in the crew who is doing the plans, like he did at the end of Enies Lobby with closing the doors and doing those whirlpools in the water. So I think Sanji is gonna put him in a bubble, and then they are gonna happily try to leave. They will start leaving, and Saturn is gonna be very frustrated, and then we are gonna have Blackbeard is gonna show up in that moment, and if you have seen some of my previous videos, and I think that's the moment when Kizaru is gonna say to Luffy and the rest, well, not Luffy, because Luffy already went flying to Elbaf in my opinion, but to Sanji and to Frankie and to the other Vegapunks, he's gonna say, go, get out of here, this guy is too strong for you, I will buy you some time. And Kizaru is gonna protect them. He's gonna bet for Nika, and he needs to lose. This will be the fight as I explained in my Kizaru video, light versus darkness. But on top of this, Saturn is gonna be there in the background, inside the bubble. He can't escape because he's been locked, and Kizaru needs to be defeated in this moment, and Blackbeard needs to say, okay, this is better than the idea I had of becoming a kingdom, Hachinosu becoming a kingdom. I can trade, I can negotiate with this guy. So, as I think Blackbeard is some sort of sea god fruit, like Luffy is sun god, I think Blackbeard may represent the Kraken, as if you see my video about the Kraken. And I think it can be very interesting to see a massive god Kraken moving the tentacles and making earthquakes. That's what Krakens do as well, and move the seas and everything. At the same time, spitting ink, that it will be a spitting darkness and covering everything around him with darkness. And at the same time, these types of animals, octopus and squids and things like this, when they are born, they are like little balls, transparent, and you can see the baby octopus inside. So it could be a comparative if this bubble gun with Sanji happens and Saturn is inside the bubble, that how he may swallow Saturn in the bubble and kidnap him to use him later as a trading card, and he will be the Blueno. He will be totally defeated, ashamed about having suffered this fate, and yeah, it can be very very poetic for someone like him, that he despises humans and all of these things. So I obviously think this Blackbeard plan of becoming more than he is and having access to the government facilities by kidnapping this guy, if that's what's gonna happen, I think the Gorosei, the group, they are not gonna accept this, and they will sacrifice Saturn. So I think what we will see is the public execution of, because Blackbeard is bad, he's the bad guy of the series, and he needs to kill in front of everyone, and he needs to do something big. So I think the Egghead incident is Saturn being kidnapped by Blackbeard. Some of the fault, some of the guilt is gonna be thrown onto Luffy, and what Blackbeard is gonna do is gonna say, oh, you give me this, or you give me access to this, in theory, the freezing room in Marijoa, or I'm gonna publicly execute this guy, Saturn. The Gorosei will not comply. The Gorosei will say, do whatever you want, and he will kill him. I think he will kill him, and that's the incident. The incident is that one of the untouchable, that is Gorosei member, will die at Blackbeard hand. We have seen Luffy running havoc again around the New World, hitting a Terubito, defeating Yonkos, defeating Shichibukais, and we have seen Blackbeard, betraying his people when he was with Whitebeard, and doing the Impel Down beat. But we haven't seen him actually doing something like in real time. And this, I think this may be his thing. Like Luffy is growing step by step, like Blackbeard. But I think Blackbeard needs to be rocketed up in the scale of the situation, and the best way to do that, it will be to capture someone of this caliber. Someone of this caliber. It could be very, very interesting. I wanted to do this video and I wanted to clarify things about Saturn these days because, as I said before, I totally think that we may have like maybe only like maybe 2-3 episodes more until all of this is happening, and with the whole thing about Kuma, that they are giving so much importance to Kuma, to Nika, and all these things, Oda will sleep in a second, kind of in a second level that you don't realize. You will sleep this kind of situation with Blackbeard, unexpected situation, because the attention of everyone is focused in Kuma at the moment. Everyone is thinking, everyone is saying that, oh yes, Kuma is gonna kill Saturn, is gonna defeat Saturn, is gonna do this, gonna do that. But we are forgetting that there we have Blackbeard, the opportunist ship. We don't know who is in the ship, but if we think about the other people from his crew that we have seen in Hachinosu at the moment, fighting, Garp, etc., there is a lot of chance that the one on the ship is Blackbeard himself. Blackbeard himself. For my super theory of Vista, I expect Vista to be there. I expect Lafitte to be there as well. And yeah, so yeah, feel free to tell me in the comments what you think about this. I mentioned it a couple of times already about my idea and my concept for Saturn and what is gonna happen, but I think the time is dire now, and it is gonna be happening anytime. That's why I want to talk about Saturn today. So we have the hands here that I'm trying to take as a reference this scene. He has the hands drawn. Oda, I love Oda's style to draw. I love it. And in this moment with the hands are really nice in this kind of design. And but this one grabbing the fork, it is not how you will grab a fork. So I guess maybe he rushed in this scene, but it is looking very good anyway. So this is the sausage, his favorite food that he is having here, and I think they are showing him in this scene eating because it is a very human thing, and the thing that he despises as insects, he's doing the things that the humans love to do the most, in this case eating. So all of this is mustache and beard. He's sitting there. We have a little bit of hair. And here, okay. Face is looking good. Now we're gonna be doing this kind of judge hair that he has. Very nice too. I like it very much, the designs of Oda and the creativity when creating characters and new characters that we don't expect. I mentioned that I think this guy Saturn is the Blueno. The Blueno, because there's a lot of reference with the bull and we have this kind of Ushi Oni that eats a bull, spider bull, with the horns and everything, and it reminds me a lot to the Blue NOS scene. So that's why I think we need to have the world government and EMU to take a big hit, and this could be basically the biggest thing that they could face that in 900 years, because I totally think these guys come from 800 years ago. These 5 with EMU, all of them are from 500 years ago. It can be very shocking for them and destabilizing their normal situation. Okay, I'm trying to add already a little bit of depth to the colors and making it thick, because this is what this is the color that we have for the drawing. Is almost all black and a little bit of white. So we have the hands there, and now we're gonna be doing this is this cape that he has there. Okay, and then we have the neck. As you see, this part I'm doing it a little bit more loose. Okay, like this. Looking nice. That's the staff that he has. I think Oda doesn't take chances, so if we have a staff here, he is gonna be fighting with the staff a little bit, and we're gonna see him kicking Kuma and maybe Sanji or whoever is gonna be on his way a little bit with the staff, or, because it is quite important for the character design that Oda gives this importance that every single time he's drawing him with this. Yeah, let's do this part as well. Okay, and this is gonna be, he's sitting in this battleship. He's sitting like in a throne, and let's see what type of chair or throne sitting we're gonna do for him in the drawing today. This is gonna be one of his shoes. This is the other one. This is the other feet. Okay. I'm enjoying a lot doing these kind of video theories from One Piece and talking about One Piece, because this is something that I normally do every day, and try to discover the secrets of One Piece and what is Oda planning to do next. And yeah, feel free to comment and talk about this concept, and let's try to make some conversation so we can understand what's happening with One Piece and what's the theory gonna bring to the table. And yeah, so let's do something like this. Yeah, something like this I think will do. So actually there's no image reference for this. We're just gonna do something like this. It can be. Okay. This is good. And then the cape is finishing here because the cape is, he's sitting on top of the cape. We may do maybe, we can do maybe like we did with Kizaru and do some lines, like the cape it's kind of flowing here, and then we kind of camouflage this line that we've done, and it can look very interesting as well, like this. Something like this. Let's add some decoration here, like it has decoration on the chair because it's kind of a royal chair of him. And yeah, as I said, I wanted to do this type of a scene with him kind of eating something because I think it is very human. And I think as well this is one of the most important moments for Saturn, because he's next to, he's eating, Kizaru is eating as well, is talking to him, and then we have Doberman, Vice Admiral Doberman is behind him and doing the salute sign with the hand, and he's talking about insects, that the humans are insects, we can replace them all the time, we can breed them and replace them all the time. He's like a science guy as well, so he in this sense Oda is portraying him that he actually doesn't appreciate life or human life, and yeah, he's using everyone, like when he's talking about the 8th wife and the experiments that he's done with the woman, with the Akuma no Mi powers and everything, that he doesn't respect human life and he does not care about it. So it is very poetic to make him eating human food, and at the same time Doberman's expression behind him is of a man who has lost the hope and he is scared. So as we have seen Luffy eating and we don't know who is giving him food, that I think is Kizaru, we are gonna see Doberman and the rest of the guys as well not siding with Saturn. I think Saturn here needs to be alone. I think when, because I totally think this will happen, when Blackbeard is gonna take him kidnapped in the bubble, you are gonna see vice admirals. My theory about the Smoker as well, I think Smoker is the one who is gonna say to the vice admirals, stop everyone there, what you are doing is not right, and what Saturn is doing is not right, we need to stand our ground here. And I think they are gonna be there looking at the situation, Blackbeard taking him, and he maybe even in despair shouting, you insects, you rats, take me out of this bubble, I'm gonna kill you all. And his powers, this kind of explosion or these things that he's shooting through the eyes, not working in anyone because he's inside the bubble. So Vegapunk in that regard, I think, has done the bubbles very, very strong, and Saturn is not going to be able to escape there. And that's the Egghead incident, in my opinion. The Egghead incident is the kidnap and the Marines looking at it like we can't do anything because Blackbeard is so strong and the guys there are so strong, but at the same time, we don't want to do anything. We don't want to do anything because you are killing everyone here. You are killing your own people, your own subordinates, the Marines. He's killing everyone. And yeah, I think we're going to be facing reality of One Piece with Saturn, and he's going to be taken out by Blackbeard as well at the same time. If some of you think that Saturn is gonna kind of, he needs to do like a show off of power first, and show his resistance and show his cruelness and that he is a ruthless person. We have seen this already in the flashback with Kuma. I think Kuma will make him pay for this. It will weaken him, and yeah, and we want to see a display of power. Maybe he's gonna even do an attack that is gonna destroy a big part of Egghead. Yes, but but at the same time I don't see Saturn winning, or I don't see Saturn you know, having any kind of victory in this reference. Like, he is very chilled, he is very confident of his strength, and we need to remember that there are other racing powers in One Piece, like Blackbeard, that they are very like a surprise. In this case, Blackbeard. We have this. Let's leave some white spaces, like Oda always does, to show the suit. So we can stop the drawing here, me doing like a small line there. Okay. Okay, nice. Here in the other side we will do the same. Do a little line. When you guys draw with this type of pen or any type of pen and color pencils, sometimes it's nice to have like a little paper that you can put your hand, because this is very fresh. I just done it and the ink is still a little bit wet. So I'm just gonna try to move my hand a little bit to this side. You can make already these lines like that. We will not paint much, like some lines in between like this. And when you are feeling as well dark areas like this, you can play with the intention. So you see here that I'm drawing in this direction, making like a cylinder, and then I try to follow the shape of the arm. So my irregular lines here will be making a fake 2D volume, and that can be very interesting. So here as well, just kind of trying to separate the space, but you can do the same. This is supposed to be the belly, some lines to explain that we have some crease in the clothes, but then you can do like this, irregular, to create this volume, this fake volume here. Always as well, when you do hair or when you do clothes or a dark tone that you don't want to feel completely, and do more like a cartoony, like I always do, cartoony style, this works really nice. So this is a very chunky character, that's why we have the back side like this. And then we're gonna add some more lines here and here to the cape as well. Okay, it's looking good. Maybe we do a second line here as well, and we don't paint the whole thing, we just do this, another line. Okay, and then I will try to paint first this side here. You see, we do the same. This is a cylinder there. We want to do like this. Let's leave a double line next to the leg. So yeah, as I was saying before, feel free to write your comments below and opinions about Saturn. What do you think Saturn is gonna do? If you think he's gonna be victorious here, or if you think he's gonna kill someone, for a very nice storytelling and Straw Hat update and upgrade. I think we have seen Kuma protecting the daughter in this last episode with his body, and Saturn piercing Kuma. Maybe that's what I said Frankie was gonna do with Vegapunk. That's what I said in my Frankie video that I posted around October time. I said Frankie is gonna protect Vegapunk with his body, and with one of these legs Saturn is gonna is gonna make a hole in his back, is gonna break him, and we are gonna have to take Lilith with us, and Lily will fix him with Wapo Metal. This is one of my biggest theories as well in the channel, with the Frankie upgrades and the green blood and everything. But this is going into the realm of fantasy, but maybe imagine that Oda has watched my video and said, oh, DavidViadel23, I am not gonna do what you expect, and I'm gonna do something new, and now Kuma is the one gonna be pierced. But even seeing Kuma being pierced in this previous episode and you know, like stabbed by this pointy kind of leg, spider leg thing, I still think we will see. I still think we will see Frankie protecting the Vegapunks probably and being destroyed. I think this is something needed here. If you think about it, all the characters in the scene facing Saturn are the science-related characters in the crew. Sanji is there, Frankie is there, Vegapunk is there, some of the Vegapunks are there, and it will make sense if Frankie ends up half destroyed there because of Saturn, not because Kuma explosion, and yeah, and we have a little bit of upgrade for him and some other features that we may see go into Elbaf, because I think Frankie is gonna have importance in Elbaf because the Adam tree is the one in Elbaf. That's been confirmed by Yoda, that the Adam tree is in Elbaf, and he managed to get the tree wood bought in the black market to build the Sunny. But yeah, as I was talking about Saturn, I think Saturn at the moment went in very strong, very cocky, very powerful, with his own strength, with this super buster call, with one admiral, in this case Kizaru. I think Kizaru is gonna turn against him, and I think we're gonna make one nice like this to make a circular volume. You see sometimes this in manga as well, and in some scenes in One Piece, that to do a front circular or oval shape, will do this kind of lines to create a volume as well. Could have done it here as well, but anyway, it's looking good anyway. Okay, so Saturn, as I was saying, came very, very strong. Very, very strong, and we thought, okay, what's gonna do this guy, who is gonna kill, and how are we gonna escape from this one? But after seeing all this disrespect toward humans and again, you know, towards slaves, Kuma, Genie, the experiments done to you know, the mom, and now Bonnie being how it is Bonnie, these comments in front of Doberman, in front of Kizaru, and they are making the reader hate Saturn, and only because of this he should be eliminated in the One Piece story. And there's a couple of lines extra here, and we will not feel sad about it. We will not feel sad about it. We want Blackbeard. I think Blackbeard needs a big win, and it can be the killing, first the kidnap and then the killing of this guy. And we will not feel bad, because we need to empathize a little bit with Blackbeard towards the end. That's what a good creator, a writer does as well, that it makes you empathize with the character, and you have some kind of clash of feelings when they have to maybe defeat Blackbeard, or oh, he's doing this because he was good, or because in his flashback this is gonna happen, blah blah blah, with Blackbeard. But with these guys, no. I think these guys are gonna be pure bad, and it will feel nice if someone like Blackbeard is able to take out of commission one of these guys and eliminate him. It will be very nice. So I think this is looking very good. Let's add some a little bit of color, a little bit of tones here, basic. We don't need a lot though, but yeah, so I'm gonna do a quick pass through the suit, so the whites here don't stand out so much, and they look more like a pale black. Okay, this is the first drawing of this sketchbook. As I said before, we finished the year finishing a full sketchbook of one-piece drawings. That's beautiful. I'm enjoying it so much. And at the same time, we have this texture for the paper is being really nice as well. So I think we are gonna have a 2024 full of many more drawings and with nice quality. So yeah, just keep here on the loop, watching the videos, theorizing with me, and commenting, liking, and subscribing if you enjoy what I'm doing. And yeah, feel free as well to share this with your nakamas, with your friends, and yeah, let's make a little bit of community here, and we can enjoy the theories. So there's the sausage there. There's the sausage there. Okay. And I'm gonna do this kind of, not a throne, but like a chair. And the staff. Paint the staff. We will add some dark lines as well in a second to make a little bit of volume too. But yeah. You know what, I'm gonna paint this like in my original plan, that is like this is a full cover side. And then I may add some yellow details to have a little bit of contrast as well. Saturn and these guys are being disgusting in the story. They are like the most horrible Tenryubitos that we have seen, and I think Oda, when he does a Tenryubito, he draws it very ugly and very funny, like he's telling you this guy, as horrible he is on the outside, is the same horrible in the inside. But these five, they are normal looking old men, and Oda needs to show in like this that these guys are even more depicable than the other ones, and they are more disgusting than the other ones. In this case, with the I painted too much this part. In this case, with the opinions. I think the opinions are really important for these characters, because he's telling you we have this normal looking guy, human, that hates humans, and he's gonna, doesn't matter if he kills, if he does this, he does that, and yeah, because the actions, sometimes the actions are the ones that are gonna talk for the character, and yeah. What I don't understand is why Ruchi is still so focused in helping and following this guy's orders, even if he is a bad guy. Like, we know that he's bad, and even like that they were ready to kill him. And I don't want a redemption for Ruchi, but all these things that the Gorosei has been doing, this Saturn has been doing, and even wanting to kill Ruchi as well and everyone, it needs to backfire somehow. And we already seen a little bit of Stussy. I think Kaku is as well in the brink of turning or not following more orders, and yeah, and it wouldn't surprise to me if Ruchi is gonna be something similar. I actually don't want to see him in Redemption because he's very bad, you know, he's very bad character. But we could have, and we could see something like that. A little bit of that. Let's do a little bit of camouflage here. Don't tell anyone. Let's do a little bit of camouflage of this line, like this. Well, you need to remember that we are doing traditional, and sometimes this is not like digital. If I would be drawing with my computer and my tablet, I would just basically delete this line. But we can play a little bit with the lines. That's what will you do when you do traditional, a little bit here, to create like a second shadow under him, and it will do the work. It will do the work, yeah. I think the drawing is looking very, very nice. Let's add some more darkness. I wanted to go for yellow. Maybe I just point some small yellow details in this kind of chair. It's a wooden chair I'm doing. Okay, and now this side as well. Good. I hope you are enjoying the video, as I'm enjoying, and yeah, as I said, feel free to subscribe if you like what I see, and like as well, and comment, and if you don't want to do this and you just want to watch it and enjoy it, and that's it. And if you see someone around you that may like the video, just send it to him on your phone, on your computer, and yeah, let's see if we can reach a lot of nakamas and create a lot of theories together. And yeah, let's do some extra lines here with the cape, like this. Okay, and how this is the inside. Let's go full on in this and do it gray, like we did with Kizaru. Okay, I think we are kind of sorted here. So just for a quick recap of what we've been talking, this is basically the theory about Saturn. Saturn is gonna be trapped in a bubble by Sanji as soon as he recovers from Kuma's attack, and because Kuma, I think, will auto-destruct, and then we will see Kizaru wanting to face him and say, Saturn, that is enough, this is not correct, I'm gonna stand with Vegapunk. And then he goes into the bubble. Sanji traps him in the bubble. And now we try to escape from the scene, and sadly for Saturn, we have Blackbeard arriving. Kizaru trying to protect the Straw Hats from Blackbeard, but he's defeated. And we see Blackbeard taking like a kraken, absorbing this bubble into the darkness, kidnapping him, and using him as a trading card with the government. I don't think the government will accept the deal. They will say no. And then we need to see him eliminated, basically. We need to see him being killed publicly, probably like Roger, because this is a pirate world, and the pirates always done this, and the government always done this to pirates, and it will make sense if they flip the concept and they do this in this government person that is a bad guy. It can be interesting for my point of view as a reader of many years. I've been watching One Piece. I finished it and I started again. I finished it and I started again, in manga and in anime, and it will be something as a surprise coming for me, but at the same time, a very piratey thing to do. I think we are done. Saturn, I'm really happy with the design, I'm really happy with the drawing. It's looking very, very nice. I'm gonna add some extra lines in the cape here and some extra lines here too. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Let's sign. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say it as you want. And this is the Mandragon's Cave. I hope you all have a happy 2024 and enjoy this new year. And let's do many theories and many more drawings. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.